out by the division. However, appeal was ceased, an MR was ceased to be filed with NMAC, and a decision came out only after the elections. And the finality of that decision was only after she was proclaimed by the Provincial Board of Canvassers of the province of Marinduque. Now, jurisprudence dictates that if you file a COC and the order is not yet final, there is no reason for the suspension of election. After the finality of the decision, a social case was filed to the Supreme Court by Attorney Roque. It's difficult to comment on the facts of the case, but as we'll explain later, there are some things that have to be examined and re-examined. Specifically, if you look at the second opinion of Cong Chairman Brillantes and Supreme Court Justice Pereira. I will leave it to Attorney Roque and Congressman Reyes to further explain this.
So in the Supreme Court, we filed a petition for certiorari assailing the decision of the Comelec, saying that the Comelec in effect continues to have jurisdiction after her proclamation. Now there is a dissenting opinion that I wish everyone would read. This is the case of Reyes versus Comelec. The dissenting opinion pointed out, number one, this is highly unusual, and this is the words of Justice Trion, because it was decided in haste. Upon filing of the petition, instead of asking the Comelec to comment, they came up with a decision affirming the decision of the Comelec. And Justice Trion not only described it as undue haste, but he called that his colleagues should be more careful in what they're doing, because he said it in his dissent, it will benefit one of them. And he is referring to the fact that Lord Allen Velasco is the son of Associate Justice Presbitero Velasco. Now, there is a motion for reconsideration which we will file. We have until Saturday to file it. And I'm sure that next week we will be discussing the contents of our motion for reconsideration. So, for now, I will turn over the floor to Congresswoman Regina Reyes for her statement today.
Good afternoon po sa inyo lahat. Magandang hapon po, magandang tanghali. At marami pong salamat sa pagdalo nyo sa ating pagpupulong para sa pagtanggol ng karapatan ng mamamayan ng ating mahal na lungsod ng Marinduque. Ginagawa ko po ito para sa aking mga kababayan. Siyang naniniwala na ipaglalaban ko ang karapatan, kinabukasan at karangalan ng bawat Marinduqueano. I am Regina Reyes. I am a lawyer and I am Filipino. In the last elections, I ran for the post of representative for the Lone District of Marinduque. During the campaign period, my opponent, Lord Alan J. Velasco, son of Associate Justice Presbitero Velasco, procured a decision from the Comelec. Declaring my candidacy as null and void, allegedly because I am American. But because this decision was not yet final, I decided to pursue my candidacy, despite the fact that such a decision was detrimental to my campaign. Pupunta po ako sa bundok, sinasabi ng aking mga kababayan, sayang po ate at disqualified po kayo. Wala po kaming signal sa aming mga bundok sa Marinduque. Pero umiinig po ako sa aking kababayan para sabihin sa kanila at ipaliwanag na ako po ay hindi disqualified. In spite and despite that COMELEC resolution, I won the elections for the post of representative for the Lone District of Marinduque, having received 52,209 votes. I had a margin of almost 4,000 votes from my closest rival, the son of Justice Velasco. I have been duly proclaimed with the Board of Canvassers on May 18, 2013. I took my oath of office before His Excellency, President Noynoy Aquino, on June 27, 2013, and before our Honorable Speaker, Feliciano Belmonte, on June 5, 2013. In addition to having taken an oath before a judge of the Regional Trial Court. I have since assumed my post as representative, having already filed my first bill, House Bill number 128, on July 1, 2013. I am therefore the duly elected representative of the people of Marinduque. Jurisprudence has always been consistent. A congressional candidate, once proclaimed, is the duly elected representative of the people. After proclamation, all disputes relating to the qualification of a member of Congress shall be resolved by the House of Representatives Electoral Tribunal. Iba po nga ng June, alam po natin yan, i-check po. The rationale for this is twofold. One is to ensure that the Congress is a continuing body. The Constitution provides that Congress, for instance, shall convene without need of call in case of the declaration of martial law. That's why it is imperative that all members of Congress be proclaimed as soon as possible. This is why the election for members of Congress does not allow any pre-proclamation controversy. But secondly, and more importantly, once proclaimed, members of Congress are not subject to the jurisdiction of COMELEC, nor any branch of the government, including the Supreme Court. Only HREP, the House of Representatives Electoral Tribunal, can be the sole judge of all controversies involving the election of its members. This is because of the separation of powers. This is what the Philippine Constitution, our laws, and our jurisprudence provide. And yet, apparently, my election has become the lone exception to the rule. It is very clear that jurisprudence cannot be reopened unless there are changed circumstances. And yet, apparently, both the COMELEC and the Supreme Court have rewritten jurisprudence because they have effectively ruled that the son of Presbytero Velasco, whom I defeated by almost 4,000 votes, should instead sit as representative of the people of Marinduque. What, if any, is the changed circumstance warranting the reversal of jurisprudence? It is my position that there is no change of circumstance warranting the reversal of jurisprudence. Instead, what we have is one undeniable fact. That is, my opponent is the son of a sitting justice of the Supreme Court. I refer you, nandiyan po sa inyo mga, I have copies of that, copy po tayo dyan, the dissenting opinions of Justices Brion, Carpio, Villarama, and Leonen in the case of REYES versus COMELEC on why Presbytero Velasco is the overriding circumstance that changed jurisprudence. This is an instance where a justice of the highest post wielded his influence to reverse jurisprudence in order to benefit his family. This is a travesty of justice. Consider the following points in the dissenting opinion of Justice Arturo Brion. May mga copy po kayo dyan. Number 1, why was there undue haste in deciding my petition? Normally, the filing of petition would warrant an order from the court for the respondents to comment. Alam ko po yan sapagkat 10 taon po ako nasa Office of the Solicitor General. Nag-trial attorney po ako at nag-solicitor po ako sa Office of the Solicitor General. Trabaho po namin yan. Trabaho ko po ng 10 taon. The Supreme Court, despite my claim of denial of due process rights, since the COMELEC did not conduct a hearing where I could offer evidence of my citizenship, ito po, mga kababayan, Philippine passport at mga ibang ebidensya. Hindi po ako binigyan ng pagkakataon ng COMELEC para ipakita ang aking katibayan na ako ay Pilipino. Mas matimbang pa po ang isang internet blog ng hindi kilalang tao at hindi naman humarap sa korte para maging basehan ng aking diskwalifikasyon bilang noon kandidato at ngayon representante ng aming mahal na lalawigan ng Marinduque. So, the Supreme Court, despite my claim of denial of due process rights, since the COMELEC did not conduct a hearing, alam po yan ng ating former Commissioner Gregorio Narasapan, former COMELEC Commissioner po yan, where I could have offered evidence of my citizenship, was not even ordered to comment so it can dispute my assertion. Ito po. In its haste to rule in favor of Velasco, the court even rewrote the constitutional provision on when elected officials assume their positions. Kaya ang aking mga kaibigan dyan nakaka-congressman, hindi pa kami congressman ngayon, ayon kay Justice Perez sa kanyang ponensya. Nakalagay po dito, Justice Perez in his ponensya declared that the oath required by the Constitution is the one administered by the House Speaker on the day the State of the Nation address takes place. Malang June, nagulat kayo? Ayun po, sinabi po ni Justice Perez yan, June 25 po, ang promulgation of decision. My term as an elected member of Congress per the Philippine Constitution commenced at noon of June 30. To say that I only assume my post on July 22 would be to render all members of Congress liable for the crime of failure to assume our elected post for at least 22 calendar days. Kaya aking mga kabarkadang congressman dyan, natatago sa camera, 22 days, hindi po kayo maaaring maging congressman. Ayon sa itong desisyon ng ating Korte Suprema. But I'm not here to argue the legal points of my petition. I will do that in my motion for reconsideration. I am here today for the following reasons. Magpapakita ko sa inyo ng dokumento, hindi po ako binigyan ng pagkakataon ng ating COMELEC na ipakita at hindi rin po ako binigyan ng ating Korte Suprema na ipatunay na ako yung Pilipino. One, since the COMELEC deprived me of my day in court to present evidence of my Filipino citizenship, I'm offering this now, the Filipino people, lalo-lalo po para sa aking mga kababayan sa ating mahal na lalawigan ng Marinduque. Let me begin in this regard by stating that I have always been a natural-born Filipino, having been born in the Philippines from Filipino parents. Ayun po ang nanay ko, Pinay na Pinay. Tatay ko po ang Gimaong Edmundo Reyes. But I've been born in the Philippines. Yes, I acquired American citizenship because of marriage and naturalization. But I have renounced the same and reacquired my status as a natural-born Filipino as evidenced by certificate issued by the Bureau of Immigration, which I present to you as Exhibit A. Ito po yung pirmado pa ng Gimaong Commissioner Alipio Fernandez. Preparatory to the issuance of this certificate, I was required and took an oath of allegiance to the Philippines. I then retook this oath of allegiance to the Philippines when I became a notary public on October 15, 2009, and when I assumed the position of Provincial Administrator of Marinduque on January 17, 2011. A copy, both are submitted to the Filipino people as my exhibits B and C, respectively. I have a copy of my Philippine passport, which I am submitting as my exhibit C. I also have a certification from the Bureau of Immigration that I use only a Philippine passport in all travels after I renounced my American citizenship. These are documents that I am Filipino. These were the evidence that the COMELEC refused to receive, because otherwise it will prove that I have all the qualifications for the post of congressman. The documents would also prevent the son of President Velasco from assuming the post of representative of the people of Marinduque. A political question is a controversy for which there is a literal commitment to the sovereign Filipino people. The issue of who should sit as a representative of the people is one such political question. It is a matter already resolved by the voters of Marinduque. Nagsalita na po sila. More than 52,000 of them, despite all these cases, marami pong ibang kaso, pero dito pinag-uusapan na natin ang disqualification. Pero testigo po ang aking pinsan, halos sa linggo-linggo may sabi na po dumarating sa aming tahanan sa Marinduque. Unelected bodies such as the COMELEC and Supreme Court cannot override the will of the sovereign people in this regard. I then beseech Presbytero Velasco to stop using his unelected post to further the interest of his family. I call on him to refrain from using his unelected post to give rise to yet another constitutional crisis where Congress may be compelled to ignore a ruling of the court, reversing jurisprudence to benefit one of its own. Alam niyo, sabi po sa akin ng magiting na Hari Roque, kaninang umaga at hanggang ngayong tanghali ay talagang sinabi po ng Panginoon Diyos, kailangan niyo magsalita. Kaya po, hinahain ko po itong kaso sa aking mga kababayan sapagkat kung ginagawa po ito sa akin at ako na asawa ng isang dating kongresista ng lalawigan ng Batangas at anak ng nananilbihan ng mahigit ng 40 taon para sa aming lalawigan, papaano pa po ang ating mga kapatid na walang paraan upang ipaglaban ng kanilang karapatan. Kaya manalangin po tayo sa ating Panginoon Diyos na maliwanagan po ang ating mga kasamahan sa ating pamahalaan, na respetuhin po ang ating saligang batas, respetuhin po ang mga tradisyon at sistema ng ating talagang itinatang ng ating republika, at irespeto po ang kagustuhan ng ating mga kapatid at ang mga taong bayan ng ating bansa. Marami pong salamat at magandang hapon po sa inyo.
Now we will have a very limited question and answer. I hope you understand the sensitivities of what just happened today. So please bear with us. We will be entertaining a few questions. Yes, sir.
Harry, para ma-appreciate siguro ng mga kaibigan natin sa media, ang punot dulo kung saan nag-umpisa lahat ito. Pakikwento nyo, ano nangyari, ano ang basihan ng COMELEC First Division para i-cancel yung COC ni Congressman Reyes. Ano yung basihan? Dahil yun din nasa dissenting opinion Commissioner Chairman Brillantes.
Dahil hindi naman po ako abogado ni Congresswoman sa COMELEC, ako sasagot yan. Ang basihan lang po nila sa kanilang desisyon, Amerikano daw, si Congresswoman Reyes, ay isang vlog.
Ma'am, right side.
Isang vlog ng tao na wala naman nakakakilala kung sino siya. Kaya nga po sabi ni Justice Brion sa kanyang dissenting opinion, ito po ang kauna-unahang pagkakataon ng isang double hearsay ay pinaniwalaan, hindi lamang ng COMELEC, kung hindi na rin po ng ating Korte Suprema. Yan po ay mga salita ni Justice Brion, hindi po yan salita ni Harry Roque. Okay, kung wala na pong mga katanungan, papaalalahan ko lang po sa inyo na yung presented na speech niya, hindi niya po naibasa yung last paragraph ng second to the last page at saka yung last page. So wag po natin ma-attribute sa kanya yung hindi niya nabasa sa kanyang statement ngayon. Nagkakasundo ba po tayo mga kaibigan sa media? At siguro naman nalalaman niyo kung bakit hindi na niya binasa yung huling paragraph ng page 5 at saka page 6. Hindi po kasama yan sa statement. Sige po, kasama po natin sa...
Sir, any plans of action against the justice concern?
Gusto ko lang pong malilbihan sa aking mga kababayan.
Hindi mo ba siya impeachable against the justice? If you have enough evidence that nakialam po talaga siya.
The Congresswoman would not like to respond to that because she wants to be Vice Chairman of the Committee of Justice that will hear all impeachment complaints against impeachable officers. No comment first. Yes, please. Hindi, yung isa mo na. Cheryl, please. Yes.
Sir,
yung such a accusing statement to say that Justice Velasco may produce influence in this case. So can we, do we have any proof, Congressman?
A Congresswoman would refer you to the dissenting opinion of Brion, Justice Brion, who said that the court should not have not acted in haste because it will benefit one of them. That's in the dissenting opinion of Justice Brion. Next question, please.
Siyempre, pinaka po ng COMELEC yung nagawa nila.
Hindi po. In fact, si Commissioner Larazabal po ay humingi na po sa iba ng isang hearing para mapresente naman ni Congresswoman Reyes yung mga dokumento na pinipresenta niya ngayon sa taong bayan. Hindi po pinatawag ang vlogger, kaya nga po sabi ng Korte Suprema dun sa dissenting opinion ni Justice Brion, double hearsay.
Sino po ang pwede maging arbiter sa kaso na to? Considering ang sinasabi po ng kahit po ninyo, ang may jurisdiction na sa kaso ay HRTD at hindi na ang COMELEC o maging Supreme Court dahil nakapanuntanan po si Representative Reyes.
Hindi po kami nagsabi niya, ang nagsabi po niya sa aling batas at jurisprudence. Bukod pa po rito, meron na po kami nakuhang certificate na meron po nagsampa ng co-waranto laban kay Congresswoman Reyes sa House of Representative Electoral Tribunal at si Velasco mismo po, si Lord Alan Velasco ay nagsampa na ng protesta sa House of Representative Electoral Tribunal. Nasa jurisdiction na ho yan ng HRET dahil nagpunta na po ron si Velasco mismo. Kung wala na po kayong mga katanungan, maraming salamat po. Inuulit ko po, hindi po kasama sa statement ni Congresswoman Reyes ang huling paragraph ng page 5 at ang page 6 nung kanyang napakalat na statement. Maraming salamat po. Photo op siguro ngayon.
Tatakpan na rin yung sector.
Sa dissenting yung will benefit yung may
Konting mukha, ma'am. Thank you.
will benefit one.
Sige.
si Congressman Sarmiento po ay kapatid din ni dating Comelec Commissioner Sarmiento.
Magandang po, Gina, Harry, I'm Congressman Sarmiento from the district of Camarines. My presence here is a way of supporting my party mate, Gina, being the duly elected representative of the district of Camarines. Well, anyway, as have been pointed out by my colleagues in the House of Representatives, the persons of Congressman Rufus, Congressman Lloyd Gonzalez, that the matter has already been taken out of the jurisdiction of Comelec in line with Article 6, Section 17 of the Constitution, that the Senate and House of Representatives shall instruct an electoral tribunal which shall be the sole judge of all contests relating to election, in terms of qualifications of the members of the House of Representatives. Considering that Attorney Reyes, now the Congressman of Guadalupe, has been proclaimed by the Provincial Board of Conductors, I think twice, taken her oath, and in line with several cases decided by the Supreme Court, a willing candidate having been proclaimed, taken her oath, the jurisdiction of Comelec ends and the jurisdiction of Israel begins. So, in line with the position taken by my colleagues at the House of Representatives, I think the matter should now be settled at the House of Israel, the electoral tribunal of the House of Representatives.
Meron pa po kayong katanungan para kay Congressman Sarmiento? Well, kung wala na po,